Hi, Bill Turner, Okie back again. Same hair, a little less glare on my glasses. How you doing? Or as we say in Oklahoma, how's your dog? So, the reason one of the reasons why I want to do these videos is because I want to say things that responsible reporters will not or can't say. And I mean, the press did a really horrible job covering the 2016 presidential election. They spent entirely too much time obsessing over Hillary's emails, which were never that interesting to begin with, not really all that important, and by obsessing over Hillary's emails, they took entirely too much time and energy, attention away from how completely horrible Donald Trump is. And so they contributed mightily to Trump winning by doing a really bad job covering the presidential election in 2016. Now, humans make mistakes, and we all learn. Just as the people, good people of Florida learned not to put it, how to run an election, so we didn't have another 2000 area. We would probably never another debacle like the one that happened in 2000 in Florida ever again. We hope anyway, because that was a total disaster. Reporters are mostly pretty smart people, and they whoops, boy, they figured out that they messed up, and so they did a lot much. They did a much. They're doing a much better job now. They did a better job in 2024 than they did in 2020. They did a much better job in 2020 than they did in 2016. Partly also because there was no lingering, festering, stupid, completely trivial pseudo scandal like Hillary's emails lying around. The Trump campaign tried to get a similar sort of scandal out of Hunter Biden in his relationship, his supposedly nefarious doings in wherever it was he did, Russia, Ukraine, or whatever he supposedly did wrong. But there just wasn't any underlying sort of predicate like Hillary's emails for them to hang that on. So it didn't go anywhere, and it was really kind of dumb of them to try to rely on that as their big scandal for 2020. This game undo Joe Biden the way the emails undid Hillary in 2016. And they didn't have a blundering James Comey who made a huge error by announcing the fact that looking at what's his at Anthony Weiner's laptop, which is a really dumb thing for Comey to do. He should not have done that. That was a big mistake. But anyway, so none of that happened in 2020 the way it did in 2016. But Trump is a one-trick pony, and he doesn't learn. And so he thought, oh boy, this works so well. Kind of like he didn't have a trick, stupid idea like the wall in 2020 that he did in 2016 to dupe a lot of stupid people into supporting him. The wall was never a good idea. It was always a stupid idea. He really essentially has built none of his stupid wall. Mexico is not going to pay for it. It's just a completely idiotic idea from start to finish. But idiotic people thought, oh, let's build a wall to support it. Anyway, so so the press did a lousy job in 2016. They did a much better job in 2020. But there are also just some things that responsible reporters just can't say. And I mean, I understand that, and I am, I'm not a reporter. I'm, essentially sort of on the. If I were in a newspaper, I'd be on the op-ed page because I'm offering my opinions explicitly. Duh. I think that's fairly obvious. It's not obvious, and I'm sorry for you, but but I am explicitly and emphatically relying on reporters from the mainstream press for the sources of information that I use. And I'm doing that because I believe them. I'm quite certain that the mainstream press, for the most part, gives us a pretty accurate understanding of what's going on. They're imperfect. Everybody, we're all humans. We're all imperfect. But certainly, the mainstream press does a far better job than, say, Fox News and OANN and Newsmax and all those crazy right-wing nut job sources that just flat out lie to people. The right-wing press just lies because they're purely ideological. They have their ideas about how the world should work, and they're going to go out there and try to tell you the news from the perspective, and they're going to make up news that comports with how they think the world should work. So they lie. They just flat out lie, and responsible reporters from the mainstream press don't lie. Again, they make mistakes, but especially, as we saw with CNN, the guy, they fired a couple people because they found out they'd done a bad job reporting. And so CNN last year. CNN doesn't lie. The reporters did a bad job, and so CNN fired them, which is what responsible news outlets do when they find out the reporters have done a really bad job. That's remotely comparable. So anyway, and then of course Trump, Trump is explicit. He flat told us that he disparages real reporters and calls it the mainstream press fake news just because he wants his idiot followers to listen only to him. That's a really dumb idea. If you're dumb enough to follow, oh, I'm going to listen, I'm not believing everything Donald Trump says, I'm going to listen to Donald Trump, you're an idiot. That is really, really stupid. You should not, I mean, Donald Trump, for starters, he lies to you. He lies all the time. And he's not a reliable source for anything. I mean, if he said the sky's blue, I'd go out and check, because I assume they changed the sky color, and he's lying about it. You know, if he says it's raining, I'm going to go check, because I don't believe it's raining, because he lies about everything. He's crazy, he's stupid, and he's not a reliable source for anything. I don't care. No matter the claim Donald Trump makes, if Donald Trump says X, I'm assuming the answer for that is probably A. Then just don't start. I mean, you have to be a major idiot to believe anything that Donald Trump says. A major idiot. That's really stupid. So anyway. So again, the mainstream press, they're flawed. They're human. They make mistakes. But by and large, especially lots of different reporters running around there. They have an entire gaggle of reports that follow everybody around. And when they all say the same thing, that must be true. I mean, I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that all those reporters got everything wrong, and that all those reporters are lying to us, because they're not lying. They get things wrong, but they mostly do a pretty good job. So anyway, I have a plan to make. I don't want to make a lot of these videos because it's mildly entertaining to me, and I hope it might be mildly entertaining to you too. I plan to go through pretty much all of the horror. I mean, you can't probably go through all of the horrors, some we don't know about, but all of the major horror, the publicly reported horrors of the Trump administration from January 2017 up to the January 2021, going through all of them. But I figured that we should probably start right now, since he's still busy. The last dying gasp of the 2020 election. He's still trying to challenge the 2020 election. He's still being a complete idiot about the 2020 election, and stomping his foot like the petulant toddler that he always is, and saying, by golly, he really won and the election was stolen from him, stop the steal and all that garbage. You're stupid. This election is not stolen. There's absolutely no good reason whatsoever to believe that anybody stole any election in 2020. So Joe Biden won fair and square, but here's Donald Trump still out there flying around, filing all these idiotic lawsuits left, right, and center, and trying to get the election outcome reversed. Just not going to happen. But anyway, so now anybody wants to is free to go down to the federal courthouse and file just about any lawsuit you want to file. As long as there's a filing fee, you got to pay a filing fee, maybe a couple of $100, more than a lot of people are willing to pay for a stupid trivial lawsuit. But you should be able to go down to the federal courthouse and file a lawsuit anytime, pretty much anything you want to file. Part of being a judge in the United States is reading through every stupid claim that comes down the pipe, and when you come across ones that are really stupid, throwing them out just as soon as you possibly can. And that is exactly what judges have been doing with Trump's election challenges, because they're all stupid. And he's now filed, we're up to a total of 36 court filings, individual court cases that the Trump campaign has filed in challenges in the 2020 election, and he's won 2 completely trivial ones. He's won twice, and they've both been little farts that haven't had any dramatic impact on the election. So, he certainly has come anywhere close to challenging enough votes to change the election outcome, which he shouldn't, because the election outcome was fair and free. Trump himself, it's kind of amazing, really. You stop and think about it. The man's fortune comes from real estate, and the existence of private property in general depends on law, right? So there's anything we can call private property anywhere on the planet. It's because of the fact that we have a legal system set up so that if you are in your own private property, if you're in a house, if you're in your house that you can legitimately claim to be your house, if you're in your office and you can legitimately claim to be your office, and some total stranger comes in whom you don't want to be there, you can call some law enforcement officer and they will come throw the person out for you, right? And you can then have a process of law, and you can fight. If you're renting, you can have fights with the landlord in court. It depends on law. And Donald Trump notoriously has filed a huge number of, this guy's written a book about it, says over 3,000 lawsuits since day. Spends a lot of time around lawyers, and he still learns nothing. He obviously knows not a single thing about the law or legal procedures. He just doesn't understand how they work. He doesn't understand the concept of law, because the thing is about law is a law should apply to him and constrain him. And because he still thinks like a 3-year-old, he wants to get everything he wants. He wants to get it right now. And if he doesn't get it, he's going to be pissed off. He's going to whine and complain about it. He acts like a toddler. And toddlers don't understand the rules either. And Donald Trump acts like a toddler and doesn't understand the rules. And so he knows nothing about the law. So he still thinks, by golly, he wants to win the election, so he should be able to win the election. And somebody should be able to go out and sue, right? And then the court should be able to tell him right now that he won the election because that's what he wants. Um, because he knows nothing about the law or legal procedures, he seems to think that the 2000 election, in which the Supreme Court rendered an opinion that had the effect of deciding the election, is what happens all the time. It has only happened once. It's happened once in our history. Also, we're up to how many? 40. We just elected the 46th president of the United States, and there's that many elections. One time has the Supreme Court ever decided the president's election, because it shouldn't happen at all. It should never happen. And even that was a dodgy one. Technically, the Supreme Court probably really should not have taken Bush versus Gore. They should have said, Florida, you handle it, your job. Because for the most part, election administration in the United States is a state level responsibility. The U.S. Constitution says very little about elections, about federal elections. It sets some dates, and it says, here's what Congress is going to start on January 1st. It sets the date for the inauguration of the president, and it sets the dates for federal elections. But other than that, it says leave it up to the states. Okay. And part of the reason why the Voting Rights Act was a big deal is because of the fact that you're giving a lot of new responsibilities to the federal government to monitor elections. But anyway, so it's mostly a state level issue, and the Supreme Court should leave it up to the states. But so if you go through all the cases that Trump has filed, I'm not going to be trying to do that because that would be ridiculous and nobody cares that much, and they're all stupid and trivial. Anyway, this video is already getting too long, and you people will be going to sleep out there. Like, shut up, Bill. We're tired of listening to you. We don't want to hear more about this. So we'll mostly look at the Pennsylvania suit, which is the one where in Pennsylvania, this has been going on for a while now. The Republicans thought they had it set up so they'd be able to steal Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has by far the most electoral votes of all the, like Georgia, Arizona, Nevada. There's other states where they find challenges. They don't have enough electoral votes to change the outcome of the election. And it's not even clear that Pennsylvania does, but Pennsylvania comes closest to having enough electoral votes to change the outcome of the election at this point. So that's where they focus most of their fire at the moment. Georgia is also pretty interesting because it is usually a reliably Republican state in presidential elections, and they will have runoff elections that for both of their Senate seats, which is unusual. Usually only have one Senate seat up at a time in any state, but they happen to have weird circumstances. So they both their Senate seats are open right now, and they have their system is such that they're going to have runoffs in January that will probably decide which party controls the Senate in 2021, which is a big deal because, Mitch McConnell, butthole that he is, has been very clear that he intends to try obstructing Democratic presidents as best he can, the way that he tried to do with Barack Obama. So it matters a whole lot who wins the runoffs there. And now you have those idiot Republicans down there, the people who are pissed off that Trump isn't winning the election. They're saying, well, we're not going to vote in their Senate runoff. Fine, go right ahead. That's when you go for it. You people are really stupid. Anyway, they probably won't listen to me. They'll say I'm lying to them anyway, so they probably won't have any impact on what they do, but that's really stupid. So you go for it. Don't vote. Don't vote. If you're a Republican in Georgia, don't vote. Don't vote. Don't vote in January. Don't vote in the runoff. Go for it. Do what those idiots down there are telling you to do. Listen to them. Don't listen to me. But anyway, so but we can pretty well trump the entirety of Trump's legal strategy by noting that his campaign recently issued a statement distancing himself from one of their lead lawyers, Sidney Powell, who's a raving lunatic. This woman is booby shoopy. We're talking, woo! That shit crazy. I mean, it's like the craziest crazy. She makes Donald Trump seem almost sane. She's really booby shoopy. She's like, woo! One flew over the cuckoo's nest and it didn't quite make it there, did you, honey? Oh my goodness. She has a very plausible theory that former Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez, who died in 2013, 7 years ago, has led a conspiracy with the Dominion, a maker of voting machines, to steal the election from Donald Trump. Of course! It makes perfect sense, sure. Hugo Chavez is out there stealing the election from Donald Trump. Yeah, right, go for it. Yeah. You believe that? Sure. Why would Hugo Chavez do that 7 years, have set this up 7 years before the election? I mean, Donald Trump wasn't even new. I mean, he was rare screen as his presidential candidate in 2013 when Hugo Chavez died. Nobody had any idea Donald Trump was ever going to run for president. But he knew in 2013 he was going to anticipate, boy, he was Nostradamus in Venezuela down there knowing Donald Trump's going to run for election in 2020. So he said, let me work with the U.S. company that makes voting machines to rig the election for Joe Biden against Donald Trump. Oh, yeah, okay, funny. Woo! Yeah. Okay. Why would you do that? Ask Sidney Powell. Sidney Powell thinks she knows what she's talking about. Woo! She's crazy. So anyway, it worries me the fact that people are wasting public money. Anytime they go into federal court with these completely cockamamie claims, they're wasting. I mean, judges get paid a salary, so judges have to be there anyway. But still, they're wasting public money because they got to turn the lights on. They got to, everybody's got to show up and go. They're wasting money. They're wasting your money. They're wasting our tax dollars by pursuing these ridiculous lawsuits. And they're also then prolonging the election and they're prolonging. They're giving cover for the stupid woman who won't approve the transition starting. And people are dying of COVID, and Joe Biden's already doing his best he can to try to get geared up and get ready to take over in January. But Trump's trying to get in the way. And more for all that, this would be hysterically funny. I mean, still pretty, Sidney Powell's out there doing her, it's really comedy. She's really she's doing her special Wyatt thing going out there. She's got going. I have no idea what's going on anyway. So anyway, and Trump has disavowed this now, but it's kind of like, please, sure, okay. Sorry, that horse is already running out of the corral a long time ago. And the theories that Trump is actually still advancing are, marginally less insane than Sidney Powell's Chavez story. I mean, this is just dumb. So, and we now all of a sudden we're seeing all these reports that Trump's not having his legal team. And Rudy Giuliani, his famous press conference where he's sweating so much that his hair dye is running down the side of his face. And it's not clear how much the famous hair dye press conference has to do with Trump's unhappiness with him. But the problem that Trump, again, going back to what I said earlier, Trump understands nothing about this. So Trump doesn't understand that he's never going to be able to get a good lawyer to take these stupid cases because they're rancid cases. Rudy used to be a good lawyer, apparently, because he used to be a federal prosecutor, and everybody loved him when he was mayor of New York, and right after September 11th attacks, that kind of good stuff. And before he plotted his troth with Trump for something, who knows why he just tried to get in Trump orbit. Maybe there's a whole lot of money involved, I don't know. But anyway, Rudy could be, park himself at some major miracle law firm and make lots of money every year, just quietly doing basically nothing and not making a complete fool of himself on the national stage. But for some reason, he wants to make a complete fool of himself by having press conferences first. Every time runs to himself. Well, trying to represent stupid. But the thing is, now so they had their best shot at getting up to the Supreme Court, which is not going to happen, was a federal case in Pennsylvania. And they lost at the trial case. They lost in the trial court. And everybody in the United States, if you lose in the trial court, you automatically can appeal to the Court of Appeals. The problem is that Rudy filed a motion to appeal the case with the Court of Appeals that was so incompetent that the Court of Appeals may be able to say, no, you got nothing going on here. You did such a rancid job. We don't even have to hear this. I mean, we still don't know what they're going to do because he filed it and they haven't announced their decision yet. But they could just punt that and say, usually, obviously, you have a right to appeal. You can appeal as a matter of right to the Court of Appeals in the United States. But this is so rancid, we're just going to go ahead and just torch it and throw it out right now. And so Rudy is not only ruining his reputation, for hair dye linkage, but he's making himself look like an idiot in terms of he's doing really bad lawyering. He's just being a bad lawyer. So anyway, it's really kind of pathetic, but that's what's going on. That's where we are right now. This is the only one of the 36 cases that he remotely has any chance of getting to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court only takes a case it wants to hear, and I have a funny feeling that most of the justices on the Supreme Court would very much prefer to avoid having to go anywhere near any case involving Donald Trump in the 2020 presidential election because, even the three he's appointed probably, they should all recuse themselves, by the way, but they won't because they're good conservative Republicans, they're good Christians, and they don't think the rules should apply to them, so they probably wouldn't recuse themselves, but they should. But anyway, you need 4 votes to get the Supreme Court to take a case, and I don't think anyone wants to take it. I don't think 4, even if 3 Trump appointees want to take it, the rest of them don't, because they don't want to get anywhere near it. But so anyway, Trump's not going to get any good lawyers to take his cases because they're rancid cases. No lawyer wears the sun. No lawyer is concerned about his or her reputation down the road is going to go near these stupid Trump cases because they're stupid and you're going to lose. It's obvious the man has no claim. It's just the epitome of Trump being a whiny, petulant toddler who cannot admit that he lost the election fair and square, and he should just exit with whatever little dignity he has left, which pretty much none at this point. But anyway, so the 2024 election was free, fair, and secure as it could be under the circumstances. There is no good reason to doubt that most voters wanted Joe Biden to be president. the United States starting in 2021, which was the only rational choice because, of course, Trump is such a horrible, lousy president that he's done enormous harm both to a lot of people in the United States and around the world, and to the nation as a whole, and we're much better off when we get shut down as soon as we can. And Trump will never be able to admit that. His stupid supporters will never be able to admit that, but who cares? We don't need to worry about them anymore. We need to get rid of Trump as fast as we can, get him to go bye-bye, and go back to having a more or less normal sort of country with a more or less normal sort of president. So anyway, again, I have a book, The GOP Will Not Govern. It's available on Amazon. Please go look at my book. It explains how it is that Republicans only seek high office because they like the prestige and the perks that come with it, and the opportunities to enrich themselves and their already rich buddies. And they have no interest in governing on your behalf. And Trump is a model Republican. Trump didn't change the Republican Party at all. The Republican Party was already basically Trump, ready for Trump on this trajectory since Richard Nixon, and just crashed into Donald Trump. And they're getting what they deserve, and don't vote Republican, because the only people who should vote Republican are rich people and stupid people. So if you're rich or stupid, vote Republican. Otherwise, don't vote Republican. So anyway, that's all I have to say for right now. I'm planning to keep making some more videos. Hope you like them. I don't like video. I don't claim to be any good at video. I know my hair's a mess, and I don't care. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk, and I'm here to be for substance of what I have to say. But anyway, thank you for listening, and bye-bye, and bye bonds.